Hello everyone and welcome to this short video of mine. Today I will talk a little bit about the current armed conflict that is going on right now in West Papua between Indonesian military and police against West Papua's TPNPB OPM, or the West Papua National Liberation Army that represents the nation of West Papua. Anyway, most of you would have seen or would have visited our page, the Global Campaign for UN Peacekeeping Mission to West Papua, which we regularly update the page and inform you all on the latest happenings in and around West Papua. From the reports that we have seen lately, there is ongoing military raids and operations mainly in the highlands regions of West Papua, in Induga, in Jaya, in Wamena, in Puncak Jaya, mainly those key islands region in West Papua. So recently we received the report from our friends in West Papua that Indonesian military has sent more military into West Papua. On the 19th there was a big contingent of Indonesian military who had flown directly from Jakarta to Wamena in the central highlands of West Papua. And from there they were dropped off by helicopters in different districts in Induga regions of West Papua. So, and some of them were also dropped or flown over to Puncak Jaya. So we are currently monitoring all the situation in those agencies, and we will continue to update you all and let you all know on what's going on in those areas. So as most of you would have seen from our reports back in December, the military airstrikes and raids carried out by Indonesian military against civilians in West Papua, and they have actually bombed, the villages in Induga regions of West Papua. As a result, hundreds of civilians have fled and gone hiding into the forest. And the current situation is they are traumatized, and they are still living in fear. And as a result, many of them could not come back to the villages, so they're still living in the hideouts in the hills and in the forest. So we are appealing to international community, especially UN, to look into this issue very seriously, because this ongoing armed conflict in West Papua has also impacted the lives of civilians in those areas, and also it's created serious humanitarian crisis. So yeah, on the 19th we received another report from our friends in West Papua. Indonesian military actually sent more troops into West Papua, and there was a deployment of Indonesian military and police who have flown all the way from Jakarta into Wamena. And I'm just going to basically update you all on that report. So yeah, on the 19th of January there was deployment of Indonesian military and police which had flown all the way from Jakarta to Wamena, which is a town in the central highlands of West Papua. And then they were dispatched to various agencies. So, and also on the night, as a result, there was a gun battle between TNI POLRI against TPNPB, or the West Papua National Liberation Army, in Yambi District in Puncak Jaya Regency, West Papua, and there was casualties on both sides. The armed conflict also affected the civilians that lived in those districts. So basically, I'm just gonna highlight, give you the summary of the report that we've received. So during that gun battle, there was 5 Indonesian military that got shot and are seriously wounded. So they were actually flown out to Jayapura for, evacuated to Jayapura for treatment. And also 1 Indonesian military got shot as well and died. And also the Indonesian military also banned 13 houses that belongs to the locals in Yambi District in Puncak Jaya. They also shot dead 8 pigs that belongs to the civilians in Yambi District in Puncak Jaya. And also they banned houses that belongs to the locals over there, and also which included 4 pigs as well. As a result, hundreds of civilians have gone hiding. The civilians actually from the 9 villages in that district, in Yambi District, so they've been evacuated into the forest. So they're still living out in the jungle. We are more worried and concerned about the well-being of mothers and children, especially because once the civilians have moved out further into the forest, they won't have any access to food, healthcare, and clean water, and that's when we worried more about the situation, especially the well-being. So, and also we are appealing to United Nations to an international community, including Australia and New Zealand, to to look into this case, especially the conditions of civilians in those affected areas. And also, we are appealing to United Nations to immediately intervene in the conflict, on the ongoing armed conflict in West Papua, and take necessary steps to invite all parties to a roundtable negotiation or dialogue, which can be, mediated by a neutral third party. So we're hoping that would happen soon. But in the meantime, I would like to remind everyone that, the civilians are heavily impacted in this ongoing armed conflict in West Papua. So you can see that from the reports that we are receiving. A lot of civilians, especially the women and children, including older people, have gone or left the villages, and have moved further into the forest where they don't have access to food, health, and clean water. So we're more worried about the well-being and how they can have access to those vital services. So in the meantime, we would like to also appeal to especially international communities to pressure Indonesian government to withdraw all its military in West Papua, and also for UN to intervene in this armed conflict and try and get the 2 warring factions together, and maybe have a dialogue where that can be mediated by neutral third party, and we were hoping that would happen soon. But anyway, as you know, in Indonesia, a lot that happened in West Papua doesn't get reported in Indonesian media. So there is Indonesian propaganda going on right now, especially in the Indonesian media, where they don't report on the truth or on what actually happened over there. So and also their propaganda about labeling TPNPB OPM as KKB or KKSB, or this abbreviation for in Indonesia they call it armed criminal groups. So they labeled our National Liberation Army TPNPB as armed criminal groups. So we would like to remind Indonesian government that in West Papua we don't have any armed criminal groups. We only have TPNPB, or the National Liberation Army of West Papua, who has been fighting to liberate the land of West Papua for over 57 years then. And they've actually existed for the past 50 or so years. And they're not new into the scene. They've been there. So for Indonesian government and its propaganda of going around and labeling TPNPB as KKB or KKSP, that is a fat lie. And we would like to inform the international media and public that in West Papua we don't have any KKSP or KKB or armed criminal groups. We only have TPNPB, who are the colonial people who owns the land of West Papua and who are fighting really hard to liberate the land of West Papua from Indonesian colonial rule and occupation. So yeah, that's basically the update on West Papua, and we would like to also to remind all our friends and supporters to continue to stand with us and to advocate for the rights of self-determination for our people, because we believe that under international law, West Papuan people has the right to self-determination and independence, because their rights were actually denied by the Indonesian government in 1969 through the illegal act of free choice or sham referendum. So hopefully United Nations can look into trying to correct the mistakes of the past, but that will involve great deal of advocacy and campaign from all of us to make sure the United Nations comes back and correct its past mistake in West Papua. And I believe it's about time that United Nations has to take this matter seriously, because this is the effect of, of the ignorance, of denying the Papuans the right of self-determination. They know very well in 1969 that Indonesian government, went doing the right things, but the sad thing is UN was so ignorant, and they were blinded maybe by for some unknown reasons, then they deliberately allow Indonesia to take over, control the whole referendum or sham referendum. So we are appealing to international community and all our international friends to continue to stand with us and support us in our fight to free our land and our people from Indonesian colonial rule. And yeah, I would like to thank you all, and once again, thank you for your support. And I believe that one day the people of West Papua will be free, and it's because of people like you who stood with us and are able to make this thing happen. So once again, thank you for your support, and God bless.